It was a sunny afternoon at Lisbon International Airport. The terminal was buzzing with the characteristic energy of travelers from all over the world. Families were saying their goodbyes with warm hugs, while suit-clad executives walked briskly, focused on their schedules. Cristiano Ronaldo, the living legend of Portuguese soccer, was among them, casually dressed in a pristine white shirt and navy blue linen pants. Even with his relaxed demeanor and a pair of dark sunglasses, he was unmistakable. Ronaldo was on his way to New York, where he would take part in a charity event to promote sports among children in vulnerable situations. He knew it would be a quick but significant trip, like so many others in his schedule. However, as he waited for his flight, he had no idea that this journey would bring unexpected challenges. In the boarding area, he attracted curious glances. Some people waved timidly, others approached to ask for a photo. He, as always, treated everyone with kindness and a genuine smile. "Good afternoon. Of course we can take a photo," he would say, as he posed with excited fans. Finally, the boarding announcement was made. Ronaldo picked up his carry-on luggage, a discreet leather backpack, and made his way to the priority gate. On board, he settled into his first-class seat, taking seat 2A by the window. The atmosphere there was serene, with soft lighting and the aroma of freshly brewed coffee. A short while later, a tall blonde woman in her early 30s entered the cabin. She was wearing a flawless blazer and carrying a laptop in one hand and a designer handbag in the other. Her name was Samantha Cooper, a rising American financial consultant known for her confident demeanor and rigorous professionalism. She took the seat next to Ronaldo 2B and immediately began scrolling through her phone, without even looking at the man beside her. Cristiano noticed her presence, but didn't feel the need to start a conversation. After all, he was used to all sorts of reactions, from enthusiastic fans to people who pretended not to recognize him. While adjusting his backpack in the overhead compartment, he heard Samantha let out an impatient sigh, apparently annoyed at how long he was taking. "Sorry for the delay," Ronaldo said in a calm, polite voice as he sat down. "No problem," she replied coolly, still with her eyes fixed on her phone screen. The flight started, and shortly after, a flight attendant came by offering drinks. "Mr. Ronaldo, what would you like to drink?" the attendant asked with a friendly smile. "Just water, please," he replied, thanking her with a slight nod. Next to him, Samantha raised her eyes for the first time, watching the interaction with a critical look. "Are you some kind of celebrity?" she asked, with a mix of curiosity and disdain in her voice. Ronaldo gave a polite smile. "Something like that. I'm a soccer player." "Oh, soccer," she commented, with a short laugh. "Here in the United States, it's not that big. It's more of a European thing, isn't it?" Ronaldo noticed the slightly condescending tone, but chose not to react. He was used to the lack of familiarity many Americans had with soccer, yet there was something about Samantha's manner that felt more intentionally provocative. "Actually, soccer is growing a lot there," he replied, keeping his composure. "And it's a sport that unites many people around the world." Samantha shrugged, going back to her phone. "If you say so." As the flight went on, Ronaldo tried to focus on his own thoughts, but Samantha's behavior began to bother him. She spoke to the flight attendants in an authoritarian manner, and whenever he received any kind of attention, be it a smile from a crew member or a brief word, she seemed to roll her eyes discreetly. Things took a more uncomfortable turn when Samantha, after hearing Ronaldo speak Portuguese with one of the crew members, made a remark he couldn't ignore. "You speak that all the time. It's Portuguese, right? It sounds so loud." Ronaldo turned to her, surprised. "Yes, it's Portuguese, my native language. Is there a problem with that?" Samantha gave a forced laugh. No, I just think it's funny how you Europeans talk as if you're singing. Sometimes it's a bit tiresome." There was a moment of awkward silence. Ronaldo took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. He knew that snapping back wouldn't help, but he felt uneasy about what seemed like an attempt to belittle him for his origins. "Well," he began with a calm yet firm smile, "I believe the beauty of languages is precisely in their diversity, right? Each one has its own music." Samantha didn't answer, but her expression suggested she hadn't expected that response. The flight continued, but Ronaldo felt that the incident had planted a seed of reflection in his mind. He was used to dealing with different cultures and opinions, yet rarely had someone been so openly disrespectful. He wondered what motivated such attitudes, especially coming from someone who seemed so well educated. As soon as the plane began its descent toward New York, Ronaldo looked out the window, watching the lights of the city that never sleeps. He decided that, despite the discomfort of that flight, he wouldn't let it affect the purpose of his trip. He was there to help and inspire, and he wouldn't allow one person's ignorance to derail him. Upon disembarking, Samantha hurried off without so much as a backward glance. Ronaldo, on the other hand, calmly collected his belongings, greeting the crew with his usual kindness before heading to the charity event that awaited him. When he arrived at the charity event venue, a large gym in the heart of New York, Ronaldo was greeted with enthusiasm by organizers and fans. The space was filled with smiling children, eager to see up close the star they admired. For him, moments like that were the true essence of his career, using his influence to positively impact lives. Before taking the stage for his opening speech, he took a few minutes to walk around the gym, greeting the children and their families. Many of the people there shared moving stories about how soccer had changed their lives. Ronaldo listened attentively, fascinated by the universal power of sports. When the time came for him to speak, he stepped onto the stage to warm applause. "Good afternoon, everyone," he began, his voice echoing through the gym. "It is an honor to be here with you today, celebrating the power of sports to transform lives. Soccer gave me everything, but most importantly, it taught me about resilience, teamwork, and above all, respect." The speech was received enthusiastically, but while Ronaldo spoke, one detail caught his attention. Samantha, the woman from the flight, was among those present. She was accompanying a group of American investors who had funded part of the event. Despite the initial discomfort he felt upon seeing her, Ronaldo decided to stay focused on his message. After all, the event was bigger than any personal discomfort. After the speech, Samantha approached during a coffee break. "Ronaldo," she began in a more casual tone than before, "I have to admit, you really know how to engage people. That was a good talk." He looked at her for a moment, choosing his words carefully. "Thank you, it comes from the heart." Samantha hesitated, as if trying to find the right way to say what she wanted. "About what happened on the flight. I think I might have been a bit harsh. You know how it is, long trips, stress. Sometimes we end up being less kind than we should." Ronaldo kept a polite smile, but didn't answer right away. He knew that her apology, although not explicit, was an important step. "I understand," he finally said. "We all have tough moments, but the important thing is to learn from them." Samantha seemed surprised by his calm response. She hadn't expected him to be so magnanimous. "You're a better man than I thought," she admitted, before walking away to join her group. Although her comment was positive, Ronaldo couldn't shake the feeling that there was still much to dismantle in Samantha's attitude. He hoped that, over time, exposure to different cultures and perspectives would help broaden her mind. After the event, Ronaldo decided to visit a nearby children's hospital, where some kids were unable to attend the gathering at the gym. The event director suggested the idea, and he promptly agreed. The hospital was a quiet but welcoming place, with walls decorated by drawings made by the young patients. There, Ronaldo met several children who, despite their hardships, had bright smiles. He spent hours talking with them, taking pictures, and even playing soccer in a small corridor turned into an improvised pitch. One of the children, a girl named Lucy, handed him a drawing she had made of his last match. He held the paper carefully, visibly moved. While walking through the hospital corridors, Ronaldo ran into Samantha again, who was with an executive involved in the charity. She looked different in that environment, more vulnerable, less distant. Seeing him, she approached hesitantly. "You really take this seriously, don't you?" she asked, watching him interact with a nurse who was explaining one of the children's conditions to him. "Of course," he replied without hesitation. "These kids are an inspiration, and anything I can do to help is the least I can do." Samantha glanced around as if seeing that world for the first time. I guess I never realized how much people like you do behind the scenes. I had a wrong idea about a lot of things. Ronaldo looked at her, sensing the sincerity in her words. Life has a way of teaching us when we're willing to listen, he said calmly. We can all learn, even if it takes time. Their conversation was interrupted by a nurse calling Ronaldo to meet another child, but as he said goodbye to Samantha, he noticed that, for the first time, she seemed genuinely thoughtful. In the following days, Ronaldo continued his schedule in New York, attending events and meetings that promoted sports as a tool for social transformation. Samantha, interestingly, began to show up more often. She seemed interested not only in the impact of his actions, but also in the man behind the public figure. During a charity dinner that marked the end of his stay, Ronaldo was surprised by a speech from Samantha. She took the stage and, in front of everyone, shared the impact the experience had had on her. When I arrived here, I thought I understood the world, but I saw firsthand how one person can use their influence to truly make a difference. I want to thank Cristiano Ronaldo, not only for his incredible work, but for showing me that we can all be better. The audience applauded, and Ronaldo, taken aback, responded with a sincere smile. He knew that although there was much more to be done, that moment was a small step in the right direction. At the end of the night, as they were leaving the venue, Samantha approached him once more. Thank you for your patience with me. You made me see beyond my own prejudices. No need to thank me, Ronaldo said. The world already has enough divisions. If we can understand each other a bit better, we'll be on the right track. Before boarding the flight back to Lisbon, Ronaldo felt a mix of exhaustion and gratitude. He looked out at the New York skyline, reflecting on how even an apparently ordinary trip could bring important lessons. Samantha appeared in the distance, waving to him. She seemed like a changed person, with a more open and receptive expression. Have a good trip, Cristiano. Keep inspiring the world, she said. Thank you, Samantha. And remember, small steps lead to big changes, he replied with a smile. As he boarded the plane, Ronaldo knew that his impact went beyond the soccer field, reaching into people's hearts and minds.